have here with me two of the newly released entry-level devices from Samsung, one of which is the Galaxy A05 and the Galaxy A05s. And in today's video, we'll be comparing both devices to see which is best for you. I'm Delpy, and make we talk Charlie. Talking about the build and design of these two devices, both are made of plastic. Although they do have this glass-like feel added to it, it's actually plastic. But this plastic design gives it a very steady feel in the palms whenever you hold it. Looking at the rear side of these two devices, the Galaxy A05s comes with a triple rear camera setup, with the Galaxy A05 coming with a dual camera setup. This particular camera design is something we've seen on most Samsung devices. Even with the Galaxy S24 rumors coming around, we still see a similar look, making it look more like a trademark for the camera design on most Samsung devices, hopefully this year and beyond. I actually like it because it's quite minimalistic and not too dramatic as compared to other devices on there. Finalizing it with the rear side, we could see a vertically linear pattern on the rear side of the Galaxy A05s and a glossy finish. Now this finish makes it very fingerprint prone, so you'd want to walk around with a fiber cloth or slap a case on it. The Samsung Galaxy A05s comes with a matte textured finish, which gives it a very good feel in the palm, and also isn't fingerprint prone, so you should be very good without a case or even walking around with a fiber cloth. At the front side, you should also notice an Infinity U display design on these two devices. Where they do look different a bit is with the bezels, but even with that, you'd have to take a very deep and closer look at these devices to notice it, as the bezels on the Galaxy A05s is much more thicker on the sides as compared to what we have on the A05. However, the chin on the A05 is slightly thicker as compared to what we have on the Galaxy A05s. Other aspects of these devices that are quite similar include the presence of expandable storage with dual SIM slots, which is on the left side of the device, as well as the support for wired headphones and USB Type-C charging and a single firing speaker at the bottom of the device. These are all in the same places. However, the main difference between these two devices on the build is the power button on the Galaxy A05s doubling as a fingerprint scanner for logging into the device. The Galaxy A05 doesn't have that feature, and that is one of the major differences in terms of build for the device. The Galaxy A05s comes with a 6.7-inch FHD Plus IPS LCD display panel, which is capped at 90 Hz. Now, this 90 Hz refresh rate is embedded on the device and it can't be toggled. It's something personally I think is a first of its kind, where it's like forced onto the display. You can't choose 60 Hz or less. It's straight up 90 Hz, and you can actually see that if you toggle the refresh rate option in the developer options of the device. However, the Samsung Galaxy A05 comes with a 6.5-inch TFT display panel. It's not so different from what we have on the Galaxy A05s. Watching and streaming content on this device is amazing, and even though the Galaxy A05s beats it with the refresh rate and much saturated colors on here, it still is good in terms of content consumption. However, I will prefer consuming content on the A05s as compared to the A05. Scrolling through apps is much more smooth and fluid on the device. Performance is another area where these two devices differ a lot. The Galaxy A05s runs on the Snapdragon 680 chipset, whereas the Galaxy A05 runs on a MediaTek Helio G85 processor. But let's be honest, these processors are all entry-level processors. However, the Snapdragon processor has a much higher tendency of boosting performance on the A05s. As my usage with this device has been an amazing experience gaming on here with some good performance rates. However, the Galaxy A05 doesn't fall far off because of course it does handle gaming performance as well in a very decent way. Both devices come with 4 gigs of RAM with as much as 6 GB of RAM for the A05s and 128 GB as the highest storage variant, with a low storage variant of 64 GB for both devices, so you should have that into consideration. However, I would always advise that you go for the 128 GB storage variant, as that would give you ample space and storage for all your day-to-day activities. Samsung is not limiting you to that. They also give you the chance to expand your storage with expandable memory of up to 1 TB. The cameras are the shocking part of these devices, because even though the Galaxy A05 comes with just dual cameras, the 50 megapixel camera on here does an exceptional job So these two devices take some decent images in good lighting conditions, and as you can see on the screen, you could tell that the images are quite sharp for the price point these devices are coming for. And I don't know what Samsung is doing, but they do take some good and decent photos. Video footage from the Samsung Galaxy A05 series. The sound you're hearing is from the A05s. Now you're hearing the sound from the Galaxy A05. Let me know how the footage looks like. For me, it's more of an entry-level footage style, nothing too extra. But hey, what are your thoughts in the comments? These two devices run on Android 13 with One UI Core 5.1. Now, unfortunately, with One UI Core 5.1, one feature you miss is linking your device to Windows. This is something you don't have here. However, you have other features such as the ability to use nearby share, RCS, and the rest. So you're really covered. The only thing you miss is linking to Windows, which most people barely use. These two devices come with 5,000 mAh battery capacity, and these are devices that you charge once in a day and only get to charge it when you're going to bed, because they do extremely well when it comes to holding up with battery performance. I charge the device once, like I said, and I only get to charge it again when I'm going to bed. It's really good when it comes to battery life. And with the 25-watt fast charging capability on here for both devices, actually, you're rest assured that this device should be juiced up pretty quick in an hour and 30 minutes. Overall, I think these two devices do an exceptional job. However, I'm mostly inclined to the Galaxy A05s as it handles performance exceptionally well. Battery life on here is much better, slightly actually, than the A05, and the display on here does a good job as compared to the Galaxy A05. So this is much of a decision for you to make. If your budget is not up to what the Galaxy A05s has to offer, then you can ideally go for the A05. But hey, the choice is yours to make, like I said, and as always, we go talk more, Charlie.